Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Friday. It is Friday. It is Friday the 13th. Holy smokes. October 13th, Friday. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope you all had a great week. We are studentloanjustice.org. If you're new to the group, welcome. We're glad that you found us. I'm going to skip all the nonsense and get right into it, guys. A couple of announcements. First thing I got to say is please donate, guys. It's getting critical on this end. Our email service has been gone for the past 10 days. And we've been floating around, like trying to send as many emails as possible on Gmail. It's been a nightmare, guys. I absolutely have to implore you to please make a donation at this time if you appreciate all that we've done, all that we're doing, all that we're poised to get done. And please just help. So I can shut up about it because I suck at fundraising. Vote for Lisa, please, if you would. Oh, there it is. Okay, let me back up. Here's the donation link. Second thing, vote for Lisa. She's in a modeling contest, and it's important. And she's in her bio, it mentions specifically that she's fighting for student loan justice. So we want to support her. But wait, there's more, folks. It's not just Lisa. It's also Christina. So we have two people. Oh, look at that. It's a little, I didn't know we had that. It's a ticker. We have a ticker. I did not know we had a ticker. That is awesome. I'm going to use that. Vote for Christina also. So vote for Lisa and then vote for Christina. Well, yeah, vote for them both, guys. It only helps us raise our image, our whatever, marketing. It helps, guys. We are the largest group of student loan borrowers in the country. We've got over 1 million people in our group. If you're new to the group, if you found us, we're glad that you did. You maybe found us through our petition, which is over 1 million signatures. Maybe you were just Googling student loans suck or something and you found us. However you came here, we're glad that you're here. What you need to know about this group is that we are not we're not here for your entertainment. This is a working, fighting group. We're trying to solve the student loan problem. We're fighting for two things, guys. We're fighting for loan cancellation. The lending system, the loans need to be canceled at this point. The lending system is completely toast. And if you go to our Medium platform and read some of our research, like read the past 5 or 7 or 8 articles that we've written based on nothing more than typically Department of Education data, maybe a little bit other data, small bits of like polling data and stuff. But by and large, all of our data comes from the Department of Education directly. And if you read the most recent 5 or 6 articles that we've written, you will very quickly come to the same conclusion that I arrived at many years ago and that many, if not most of our members arrived at. This lending system is done. It's toast. It's failed. It's a dead man walking. It only exists on paper at this point. You know, it may be fair to say at this late date in the death spiral of the federal student loan program, student loans aren't real. Get it? Like the birds aren't real thing? Yeah. But that is very true. And I'm not going to waste my breath telling you about it. I will only say, guys, that this whole thing depends, like it or not, on bankruptcy. Now, if you're new to the group, you're saying, I don't want to file for bankruptcy. What about these other groups? They're saying just cancel it. That's what I want. I get that. You got to think about this a little bit harder than just what you want. We're not going to see any meaningful loan cancellation unless and until we get the threat of bankruptcy returned. It's the most important piece of truth I have for you tonight. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. Bankruptcy sucks, and very few people will have to file when we get the right return. Having the leverage of bankruptcy is what is absolutely important for you sitting there in your life with your own loans. You probably would never even have to file. But if we want cancellation, maybe you want a break on interest, maybe you want some negotiated settlement, whatever you want for your student loans, none of that is going to happen until we get the constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy returned to us. Student loans are the only type of loan in this country to be uniquely stripped of this protection. And we've got to get this back. So we've got two bills in Congress right now. Bipartisan even. We have bipartisan S2598 in the Senate, and we have HR 9111 in the House. And the House bill, HR 9110, just came out like, 10 days ago or something, 2 weeks ago. Very fresh bill. Both this legislation must pass by the end of the year because all bills expire at the end of the year. Now, we have it on pretty good word from both House and Senate that they're going to try very hard to get these bills through. I was hoping that they'd get it through before the election so that we can properly attribute credit. And by the way, when I say we, I don't mean just the million or so people on this group. I mean all student loan borrowers everywhere. Here are the big numbers, if you're new to the group. So there's 45 million federal student loan borrowers in the country, 44 million federal student loan borrowers in the country. There's another 10 million private student loan borrowers. 85% of all of those people were underwater on their loans before the pandemic, before COVID. 85%. They were either not paying, and that's more than 50%, by the way, over half. Most people were not paying on their student loans even before the pandemic. Here during the pandemic, or let's say during the pause, essentially nobody's paying. That's a lot of people, and we vote. And by the way, more than half of us, we're not a bunch of liberal, blue-haired, snowflake young kids type thing. We're not a bunch of entitled socialists or liberal, woke liberals. None of that. We're a very fair cross-section of the country. More than half of us are either Republican or independent, by the way. And by the way, whatever your political stripes are, left, right, or indifferent, or something strange, something way out there, communist, libertarian, Zen, Buddhist, whatever your political stripes are, you are very welcome on this group, and we're glad that you're here. This problem transcends politics, guys. So we're a fiercely non-partisan group. We are very partisan aware, though. We have to look at the politics here because it's very important for getting our bankruptcy legislation passed. So we are so close, guys. We're closer than we've ever been in the 17-and-a-half-year history of this group. If you have any questions or comments, throw them out, and if I can see them on Facebook or Twitter, I'm very happy to respond to them. I really like responding to questions and comments more than just being a talking head up here, guys, because frankly, if left to my own devices, I just repeat myself every fucking night, pardon my French. But I've only got about 3 points to make. All this stuff depends on bankruptcy. Yes, the loans have to be canceled. The loans will not be canceled. This thing we saw from Biden is meaningless. It's an election. It's a Hail Mary election eve ploy, and who knows? I said for many months in the run up to this Biden loan cancellation, that would probably wind up being almost nothing for almost everybody. And with every week that passes, that becomes even more and more apparent. Like every week, another shoe drops, and Biden's unimpressive loan cancellation, which it was in the first place, becomes even weaker and weaker. And this is what we predicted, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to be the guy saying I told you so. I hate that. But like I said, I only say a few things. This comes down to bankruptcy. We have got to fight. And when I say we, I mean you and me. This is a working, fighting group, as I said. The other groups out there are not fighting for bankruptcy, and they are completely fucked in the head. Pardon my French. But there's quite a few groups out there that claim to be fighting to solve this problem. They're not. They are pimping this problem. The last thing they want is to actually see these loans actually canceled, because they'd be out of a job. A lot of them try to hawk consolidation loans on their site. They're overrun by these debt coaches or student loan lawyers or whatever, and these people are just completely full of fucking nonsense. Again, pardon my French, but it's really starting to irritate me. One of these groups does business with the collection industry. Now, hopefully all of you know that the loans are going to be turned back on January 1st. And the collection industry's wet dream is to see these loans turned back on, and with the threat of bankruptcy remaining gone from the loans. This is the number one trick that our opposition has played on us in the past, and that they'd love to play on us again. Foisting a fake loan cancellation gimmick on the people as a cheap substitute for the constitutionally enshrined bankruptcy rights that should have never been taken away in the first place. That is the trick that the swamp, the bad guys, the lending beast likes to play on us. And that is the trick they are trying to play again on us right now. And quite frankly, the other groups, one of them is straight up corrupt, we found over years ago. The other one, I don't know, guys. Anyways, it doesn't matter. All that matter, and don't be distracted, by the way, all that matters is us. This group, our bill, getting bankruptcy. When bankruptcy is returned, a whole panacea of solutions all of a sudden become possible. As long as bankruptcy remains gone, they are going to screw us around again and again forever, for the rest of your life. We've been doing this 17 and a half years, guys. Take my word for it. I was a relatively young man when I started studentloanjustice.org. Now I am a relatively old man, I think, 50 something. So take it from me. Learn from our collective learned experience. So, okay, guys, I am looking for your comments right now. I said vote for Lisa and vote for Christine. And let me just dial that in for Lisa again so that you all can see. Vote for them both. You can vote for both, by the way, and you don't have to pay. You can do it via Facebook and stuff for free. But folks, if you're wondering what can I do to help, glad you asked. This is the absolute number one most efficient use of your time. And that is doing the daily actions. We have these two great bills, guys. We'd love to see them passed before November 8th, before the election. Early voting is beginning like right now, like this week, this Monday. I think it's probably too late to get these bills passed by Monday. So we kind of missed the boat on that. But this all comes down to how hard you help us. And these daily actions are the most efficient, most effective use of your time. So if you forget everything else I said tonight, remember, if student loans are at all important to you, if you are one of the 85% of all borrowers who are distressed, and if you're watching me, you probably are, you need to be doing these daily actions every single day from here on through the end of the year, or however long, hopefully shorter than that, however long it takes to get our bills passed. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of opposition, guys, and there's a lot of people who should be on our side who are not. And I'm not going to start naming names, but it really pisses me off. The good news is, we've been doing this for many years, and as I said, we're a nonpartisan group, but we are very partisan aware. And the Republicans have opposed us on bankruptcy for many years. And today, as I'm talking to you right now, almost all, in fact, all public opposition to returning bankruptcy to student loans has gone away. Nobody has the courage to stand up and try and oppose returning bankruptcy to student loans because we are right and our argument cannot be beat. And anybody who tries to argue against returning bankruptcy to student loans, we annihilate. Frankly, at this point, we annihilate anybody who even argues against loan cancellation. But crawl before you walk, guys. We've got to get bankruptcy back. We've got to. You've got to help us. You can't unhear that. We are the pioneers and the veterans, by the way. So, okay, guys, I'm sorry to be lagging. I'm looking for your comments right now. I'm so sorry to be lagging on you. Okay. I need to do a refresh. Oh, that song I was playing earlier, by the way, trying to play. It was a U2 song called Far Away, So Close. So you get the meaning. The whole point there is that we're so close. Guys, we've never been this close. I mean, I hope you can see by the glimmer in my eye that we have never been closer than this. And we are so close. And the one thing that we're missing is normal people like you standing up and helping us fight, starting with our daily actions. Okay, finally, I can finally see your comments here. Up and helping us fight. Shut up. I can finally, come on, just load. I can smell it. I can taste it. And remember, guys, nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. And that's not the point. The point is we've got to have the leverage of bankruptcy back on our side in order for anything good to happen. Frankly, I think when bankruptcy is returned, it's pretty much game over. It's like, oh, okay, game over. And Joe Biden and any sitting president, whoever that president is, might be, no president wants to preside over the largest wave of bankruptcy filings in American history. No president wants to do that. So when they return bankruptcy protections, along with that is going to be a huge number of sweeping reforms to the student loan program. Quite frankly, the best thing to do, in my humble opinion, is to simply cancel all of the loans, call it stimulus, point to the fucking PPP program. And if you compare federal student loans to PPP loans, it's a no-brainer that you need to cancel student loans. It's way cheaper to canceling student loans adds nothing to the national debt. Canceling student loans requires not one dime from the Treasury. PPP loans added to the debt required a ton of money to be drawn from the Treasury. So there's literally no comparison between the two. But yeah, the best thing to do right now is simply call this dead dog what it is. Cancel not some, but all federally owned loans, certainly. Return bankruptcy to all student loans. I would say suspend the lending program for a year and maybe put the colleges on some sort of direct emergency funding for a year. Reduce, I would say, direct funding for a year. And replace this dead dog with something that actually works. But for the bad politics in Washington, D.C., that is what we would be at. Oh my God, we have so many comments here. Hey, Rob Miller. Hey, Rob. Rob Miller says spooky. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Student loan program is spooky. I will say that. Hey, Christina Winton. Hey there, everyone. Help Lisa with her link and mine for Fab Over 40. That's that thing right there. We are trying hard to get one of us to win so we can get money donated to student loan justice. Well, thank you. Lord knows we need it. We are in, don't get me started. Regardless of the money, we would like to see one of these women win just because it's a testament to how strong the student loan issue is. You know, women hold 2/3 of student loan debt. This is absolutely a woman's issue. And up to this point, there's been almost no crossover between the sort of fashion industry, the world of glamour and like the Kardashians and stuff and Vogue magazine. There's been almost no crossover with student loans and that whole universe, which I know evidently very little about. So I say hats off to both Lisa and Christina for even trying to cross that bridge. I think it's a very interesting thing what they're doing. Hey, Lisa, speaking of Lisa and Christina, Lisa says, hi, everyone. Here is a list of co-sponsors on HR 9110-9110. If your representatives are not on this list, call them and demand that they co-sign, co-sponsor, and that they cannot count on party lines for their votes this November. Do not vote for any representative who refuses to sign. I agree completely. You know, the strongest thing that we have going, ladies and gentlemen, are our votes. And at some point, we may have to just stop paying altogether, and that could get very ugly as long as bankruptcy is gone. We don't want to play into the hands of the collection industry. Right now, each of us, to a person, needs to be fighting as hard as possible to get HR 9110 a hearing, which is the next logical step for that bill, and to get S 2598 in the Senate up for a vote. You need to do whatever you can humanly possibly do, and do more than just our daily actions. I mean, obviously, do more than that. Money to be drawn from the treasury. Oh, I'm way behind now. Rob Miller says future generations. You know, I'm like 15 minutes behind the comments, so I'm not sure. Hey, Doug Grossman's here with us from Indiana. Rob Mueller says BK rights, bankruptcy rights, returned is like penicillin, basically. Yeah, that's right, Rob. That's exactly right. This debt monster is a disease. You know, John Adams once said there are two ways to conquer and enslave a country. One is by the sword. The other is by debt. You know, the founding fathers knew something, and this student loan scam, and it is a scam, is precisely what they wanted to avoid. It's a scam, guys. It's a scam. I never plug my book. But seeing as how, wow, we're kind of getting close to Christmas here. That's a great stocking stuffer. I wrote it in 2009. I probably should have read another one, but you know, that book as it stands now is far more relevant and pertinent and timely, I guess, today than it was the day it published in 2009. And that was before the subprime thing broke open like terribly. So that's how old that book is. But clearly it has legs. Doug Rossman says, Rob, you are a wordsmith. Go on you, man. And Doug also mentions that we thank all new members trying to help fight for our cause. Right. You know, if the stuff that I say confuses you, I'm really sorry. Student loans is a really kind of confusing, fucked up problem in the first place. Pardon my French. I've been doing it so long. I just kind of expect that people know what I know, but clearly, obviously, they don't. And why would they? Why should they? I wish I didn't know anything about student loans, but if you want to be a very fine, fit, and fierce student loan justice warrior with us, first thing you should probably do is go there, studentloanjustice.medium.com. You know, I paint on my fingers or like caulking stuff. Go to our platform, studentloanjustice.medium.com, and read the most recent 5, 6, 7 of our articles. When you do, you will know pretty much all the important stuff that I know. I mean, really, you will know enough to be a very fierce, formidable, feared, and I can't think of another word. You will be a very fine, fit, fierce, and feared student loan justice warrior. They're easy to understand, I think, hopefully, articles. The headlines in them are literally jaw drop. Well, to me, they are literally my jaw drops. When I discovered the data that I wrote up in those articles, my jaw dropped. So it's jaw dropping stuff in there. So yeah, please do that. You know, forewarned is forearmed. Right makes might. And you won't know how right you are until you sort of educate yourself about this loan scam. And it's a very simple argument, guys. You know, our fundamental constitutional rights have been stripped. And this is precisely the sort of tyrannical loan scam that the founding fathers wanted to avoid when they called for uniform bankruptcy laws in the Constitution. This is not rocket science, guys. It's actually a fairly easy argument to understand and make. So yeah, guys. Hey, Vanjie Unruh's with us. Hey, Vanjie, how are you? Front and center questions about student loans in Georgia Warnock Walker debate tonight. Yay for the issue. Yeah, it's amazing how powerful this issue has become. And again, if you're new to the group, we actually started the whole public conversation about canceling student loans by executive order. That started here on this group. And it wasn't until 6 months after we started our petition that people finally started talking about it, when Elizabeth Warren, Chuck Schumer embraced slash co-opted slash stole the idea from us. I'm saying steal because they really dumbed it down. They took it and they modified it, and they put this ridiculous $50,000 cap on it. But that all started here on this group, guys. I kid you not. This bankruptcy legislation would not exist but for the people on this group, like Vanjie and Doug and everybody you see there. So I'm thrilled to hear that they're talking about it in Georgia. I'd be curious what they say about it. I heard Senator Ron Johnson debate a guy, Mandela Barnes, here in Wisconsin. And it was terrible. Both the Republican and the Democrat were just terrible on the issue. The Republican was wagging his finger. Oh, why should our taxpayers pay for hardworking blue collar people pay for your loans? It's just nonsense. We're the same people. We are blue collar. We are no collar. We are white collar. We are truck drivers. We do dirty jobs. We are unemployed. We are doctors and dentists. We are blue hair. We are red hair. We are more red than we are blue, believe it or not. And all of us, 85% of us anyhow, are underwater on our loans. So all that stuff they say is bullshit. But then on the other hand, the Democrats, very few of them even mention bankruptcy and student loans in the same sentence. It's disgusting. And the Democrats, the entire public debate around this issue is just completely stupid. It's cornball. It's cartoonish. And both parties are just stupid in different ways. The Republicans are trying hard to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Republicans wag their fingers. The Democrats sort of wring their hands. Well, we don't like either party, ladies and gentlemen, but it'll be interesting to see what happened in Georgia. Georgia's very important because it is literally the worst state in the country. If you compare the amount of student debt in Georgia to the state budget in Georgia, state budget of Georgia is $48 billion. The people of Georgia owe $82 billion in mostly federal student loan debt. How can any conservative defend that? I don't care if you're Herschel Walker or if you're Brian Kemp or if you're any card-carrying Republican / conservative in Georgia. You should be with us. In fact, even beyond bankruptcy, if I was the governor of Georgia, even and especially if I was a Republican conservative, I'd be saying, Mr. President, enough. I will not let my state be conquered and enslaved by this big government, college enriching, federal, Georgia wrecking, lending scam. This is a state sovereignty issue. And that goes doubly for governors like Ron DeSantis in Florida, or Greg Abbott in Texas, or Kristi Noem in South Dakota, or Sununu in South Dakota, or on and on and on. I could cover the whole entire South, plus another probably 10 states beyond that, and do nothing but mention Republican governors, most of whom have publicly opposed, and their attorneys general, most of whom have publicly opposed student loan cancellation. It is disgusting the way the politics have been contrived against us. It is disgusting. And like I said, we are the largest untethered voting bloc in U.S. history. There are 38 million distressed federal student loan borrowers out there, more than half of whom are Republican or independent, and they vote. You think the Georgia election was surprising in 2020? Well, let the Republicans just keep wagging their finger at the 42 million in total distressed student loan borrowers in the country. And we'll see how these midterms go. I don't think they'll go nearly as well as the Republicans were thinking. We've never seen a larger untethered voting bloc, guys. You name any issue, abortion, gun control, immigration, you name any issue that they talk about on TV, and I will show you an issue around which the battle lines are very clearly drawn. You can maybe pull a little few people from here to there, a little at the edges, at the margins. Student loans is the wild freaking west of politics, and the bonanza in store for the politician who actually tries to solve this problem is huge. Joe Biden proved that. He betrayed us, and there's a lot of bad blood out there in the country against Joe Biden as a result of him betraying us. He made up a little bit of that ground with that lame loan cancellation he did a few weeks ago, but there's no way Joe Biden could have won Georgia, or there's no way that race would have even been close. But for the 2.5-3 million distressed voters in Georgia. Is it that much? No, I think it's in Georgia. I think it's about 2 million, around 1.75 or 2 million distressed student loan borrowers in Georgia. But Georgia's only got a population of, I think, 10 or 12 million people. So it's a huge thing. And it's like that with every state. 1 in 5 of all adults have student loans. And 85% of those people are losing sleep over their loans. That is a fuckload of people, ladies and gentlemen. You have no idea how strong we are. Lisa mentions, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through all the comments, guys. It's just too much. Lisa says, call to New York State chapter. Lee Zeldin is running for governor. He's a Republican, I believe. Thus far, he has aligned himself with the swamp. Call him out. Call out Lee Zeldin. Yeah, we haven't looked carefully at the New York governor's race, honestly. Doug Grossman mentions being fucked around. I'm really throwing the F-bomb a lot tonight, and I apologize for that. Doug is getting screwed around on the public service loan forgiveness program, as many are doing. Mohila is, guys, we are in uncharted territory. The federal student loan program is disintegrating, maybe in slow motion, but it's essentially crumbling before our very eyes. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Don't believe anybody. Any article that you read where they go, yeah, this is going to happen. Yeah, you should consolidate your loans because this is going to happen. That's bullshit. Even when I say that the loans are going to be turned back on January, I probably should have qualified that because nobody knows what's going to happen. I know one thing that is going to happen, and this I stand firm on. Very few people will resume paying on their loans come January 1st if they do indeed turn the loans back on. I know that this lending system is dead. It's mortally wounded, if you will. There is no saving it. In my humble opinion, there should be no saving it. In my humble opinion, nobody should ever pay another dollar back certainly on their federal student loans. Lending systems fail from time to time, guys. It does happen. Look at Europe after World War II. Look at Europe after World War I. Look at the subprime mortgage crisis a little more in the recent past. Look at the S&L scandal in the mid-'80s, where 40% of savings and loans banks in this country failed. They were closed. They were shuttered. They were taken over. Large bad things happen to lending systems and even national economies from time to time. So in that context, it's not that big of a deal. But I just have to wonder, anybody who actually pays another dollar on their student loans, that to me is not only unwise, I think it's unpatriotic at this point. This is a lending beast that shouldn't be fed. Frankly, I think the founding fathers are looking down and they're going, how did our people get so weak? Why are they so afraid of this ridiculous federal loan con? I don't know that they'd say con. They'd say it's a trick. whatever they said back in 1780s. The founding fathers are on our side, ladies and gentlemen. The Constitution is on our side. Lending system is vanishing into a mist of illegitimacy. This could have a good ending, which is what I said. We get the threat of bankruptcy back, and from there, we'll see how things shake out. Or it could have a very bad ending. The loans get turned back on January 1st, and we have a collection regime that goes crazy, wrecking everybody's lives. Now, the loans will not be paid, whichever way that goes. But guys, trust me on this. We don't want that second thing. We do not. That could be very ugly. People could die. There could be civil, social unrest. It could very well add years, if not decades, on to your misery. We don't want that second solution. We want that first solution. And we have until the end of the year to make that happen. And I'm not fucking kidding you. If you care about student loans at all, and if ever you were going to get off your ass and actually fight for yourself, for the country, for tens or hundreds of millions of people who are going to follow in our footsteps, the next 2.5 months are it. That's it. Nothing else matters. So, guys, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to get to all your comments, but I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I've gone on way too long tonight. But let's do this. I hope you guys are encouraged and enthused. I hope you're stoked. I hope you're ready to hit this thing hard, not starting Monday morning, starting right now. Do our daily. If you've never done our daily actions, you need to do a week, 2 weeks worth of our daily actions. They're quick, by the way. We make them very easy. It's like retweet this, this, and this. Usually you can do a daily action in like 45 seconds or less. But I'm not going to lie, guys. The stakes are high. These are your loans. And if you don't help, we will be screwed. We will be baffled, bamboozled, and screwed. And we're going to get that second thing if you don't help. You have no idea how important you are. So good luck doing those actions. Keep us apprised as to what you're doing, what results you achieve. We love to brag on our members. And by the way, be creative, be clever. You can do way more than our daily actions. This is on you. Quite frankly, I would hope that some people would make this kind of a part-time, maybe even half-time, or if you're not working, make it a full-time job like I do. This is the most important battle going on in the country right now. This is maybe the most important economic justice issue in this country since, I don't know, maybe the 30s or something, like sharecropping or something, or unionization or something. This is a big one, guys, and we are the pioneers. We are the veterans. We are the tip of the spear. So good luck, guys. Have a great weekend. Godspeed to everybody. And God bless. I'll be back on Sunday. Peace.